How does this not make sense? So, let me get this straight. There are a bunch of teens who drive around in a van with their dog and solve mysteries? Yeah, that's exactly what Scooby-Doo is about. Why don't they just call the police or something? Like, that's their job, to solve crimes. 'Cause Velma's a frickin' genius? So, couldn't the police just hire Velma? Also, how come the police only show up at the very end of every episode to arrest the person? Because they're busy doing other things. So you're telling me you wouldn't call the police if someone dressed as a gargoyle kidnapped one of your relatives? That's not the point. Well, do they at least pay them? Like, how do they afford to travel around the world? You're not. And another thing, why aren't they all in school? None of them are over the age of 18, so shouldn't they all be in high school or something? Or did they all drop out of high school? Because that sends the wrong message. Hey, I'm going to drive around in a van with a talking dog and a bunch of my friends and solve crimes for free. This is why no one wants to watch cartoons with you. Hello there, gentlemen. How y'all doing? Exhausted from talking to this moron. I'm just trying to understand the logic. Yeah, I don't care. So here's the thing. I want a transcontinental railroad built across the US. Wow, that sounds pretty neat. It will connect perfectly with the many railroads that we have in the north here. I'm so glad for you, North. Maybe you could, I don't know, help us build some railroads down the south, considering we only have like 3? I guess I'm just confused. Why are you talking to both of us about it? Clearly railroads are more popular in the north. Well, Chicago is going to become the New York City of the Midwest. Uh-huh. Sure. That's exactly what Michigan and Ohio said about Toledo. Did you know they almost fought a war over Toledo? Trust me, Chicago will be way bigger than Toledo ever was. See, Chicago will be the main hub for railroads leading out west. So, please just explain this to me. Why do the southern states need to be here? You know, I have feelings too. You know who also has feelings? Slaves. So, as both of you know, there are some new territories that are starting to form. Oh, you mean Kansas and Nebraska. I think you mean Kansas. No, Arkansas came first, so if anything, the new territory would be Kansas. Whatever, I don't care what you call either of those territories. Both of them are looking to gain statehood in the near future. Which is why we don't want people moving there, because they're both above the stupid Missouri Compromise line. Well, what if there was, say, a way that, we could, I don't know, remove the barrier for slave states? Say what now? Say what now? So I'm proposing this thing called the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which essentially leaves it up to these territories to decide whether to become a slave state or a free state. And you thought this was a good idea because we live in a democracy where people decide things? So what about the Missouri Compromise? What about it? Well, it's a law that says slavery can't exist in Northern Territory, and your law allows slavery to exist in Northern Territory. Yeah, but think about how awesome it would be for my state to have a major railroad station. Stephen, you can count on slave states to support this bill. Well, I'm not so sure it's going to... Cool, so the bill just passed and was signed into law. So what do we do with the Missouri Compromise? I guess we're just gonna ignore it. You know what? This actually is a really good idea. See, I knew you would. I mean, if we can just pick and choose which laws we have to follow, then I don't have to enforce anything from the Compromise of 1850. That's not what my bill... Stephen, thank you so very much. Now, I don't have to follow the Fugitive Slave Act because apparently you don't have to follow laws you disagree with. Seriously, I'm done with you. Oh, I'm the worst? Look who's talking. I'm gonna go now. Bye.
Hey, Gary. Yeah, Larry? I hear that Kansas-Nebraska Act passed. You know what that means? Yeah, it means we can make Kansas a slave state if we get enough people to vote in favor of slavery. Let's go cross the border. Hooray!
Hey, Gary, did you... Are you doing the hand puppet thing again?
Yeah.
Gary, we've been over this. Border ruffians like us don't do things like this. We illegally vote in territorial elections, we impose our policies on those living there, and we attack people who disagree with us. We don't make hand puppets.
But I just...
Stop goofing off. Now, let's go influence Kansas's elections. Hey, Jim.
Yeah, Tim?
I know we got outvoted by all these border ruffians illegally entering our state and imposing their slave policies, but what if we just formed our own government?
What do you mean?
Well, a bunch of people recently moved to Kansas who oppose slavery, so why don't we just create our own anti-slavery society?
We could call ourselves the Free Soilers, since the territory we live on is free.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the name Free Soilers. It sounds like we soil ourselves whenever we want to.
Tim, no one is going to think that.
You no good, dirty slavery sympathizers need to leave. Kansas is a slave state.
Wow, you really are a moral compass. I'm sure you all held completely fair elections when voting your representatives into office.
Being an abolitionist here is basically treason.
Gary, for the last time, stop with the hand puppets. It's not funny.
The Free Soilers aren't going down without a fight.
Gross. You guys soil yourselves?
Dang it. Tim, you were right about the name.
No, we aren't gonna fight you guys. I'm pretty sure we can resolve this conflict peacefully. Or you could just burn down our businesses and homes and why are you pointing cannons at the Free State Hotel? Are you actually thinking about shooting cannonballs at a hotel? What is wrong with you? You wouldn't happen to be the gentleman that destroyed the settlement of St. Lawrence, would you?
What's it to ya?
Well, I mean, between you and me, I think you guys could have handled that situation a little better. And, I mean, you guys are kind of trying to defend slavery, which, I mean, you know is wrong, so...
So, what you gonna do about it?
Oh, well, I'm just gonna beat your head in with this broadsword.
Wait, what?
See, I'm a strong proponent of an eye for an eye. You destroyed the anti-slavery settlement, so I cut your face open like a watermelon with this broadsword.
Man, Larry, I can't believe those abolitionist idiots just sat back while we destroyed their...
No, please, finish what you were saying.
I have to go now.
I know where you're going.
As you may know, Kansas is a state full of murderous robbers from Missouri. They all eat garbage. They like saying the word moist. They were the ones who suggested YouTube put ads in the middle of your videos, and they created the barcode stickers on products that either won't peel off or permanently leave that sticky residue, so every time you touch it, you get the feeling of putting your hand in some chewed gum.
Sumner, we get it. You don't like the border ruffians. How much longer is this going to last?
So, in conclusion, Senator Andrew Butler is a dumb, stupid idiot who is dating an ugly prostitute named Slavery.
That knucklehead is gonna get himself killed by some other knucklehead.
I'm sorry, what did you say about Senator Butler? Let me say it a little slower so even you can comprehend it. He is a dumb, stupid idiot who supports slavery. See, where I'm from, you don't insult people like this in public. You do it behind their backs like a passive-aggressive hypocrite.
In case you didn't know, Senator Butler is actually my cousin. And so since you have made your insults public, so too shall I beat your head in with this cane in public.
So kids, what did we learn today?
That Kansas should have been a free state because the Missouri Compromise was blatantly ignored in favor of some stupid Kansas-Nebraska Act. Pro-slavery supporters illegally rigged an election there and then proceeded to destroy a peaceful anti-slavery settlement. And finally, a senator from South Carolina unnecessarily beat in the head of a senator from Massachusetts for speaking out against slavery.
Well, no. We learned that Northerners completely disregarded the Compromise of 1850, illegally tried to set up their own government in Kansas after most of the people living there were slavery supporters. A crazy guy came and murdered people who lived there, and that a senator from South Carolina defended his cousin after he was needlessly insulted by some senator from Massachusetts. Or maybe the Kansas-Nebraska Act had way more consequences than anticipated and further divided the North and the South.
Also, Shaggy eats dog food. Are you just going to blatantly ignore that one of the main characters from that show is chowing down on some kibble and bits? Why are you bringing this back up?